Okay, I've got a brew today. We're taking a look at my take on Orzhov Prison with the new Wilds of Eldraine cards. So where to start first? The main inspiration for this deck was the Phyrexian Unlife card, which has been printed here in Wilds of Eldraine. This card is a reprint and basically allows us to take Infect once we've reached negative life totals, which is pretty cool. This is very similar to a 9 Lives, which we're also playing in this deck. However, it is not hexproof, and if it were to leave the battlefield, Phyrexian Unlife, it has no effect, whereas if 9 Lives leaves the battlefield, you die. Both pair extremely well with Solemnity. Players can't get counters, and you can't put counters pretty much anywhere. And yeah, that's generally kind of the lock that we were hoping to get onto the battlefield in this deck. But there's other things that we can do as well. With the printing of Beseech the Mirror, decks like these just became so much more powerful because they got a tutor for pretty much any card for 4 mana. So that means that like in other decks where you've seen me play the One Ring and Shieldred as just few ofs with Beseech the Mirror, we're able to find these like it's no problem at all. So we can set up a Shieldred lock where our opponent can't draw cards to remove it. We can just, stabilize ourselves with a Shieldred One Ring combo. We could even just find a Karn, which finds us the One Ring if we want. We can find Tormod's Crypt to turn off a graveyard. We can get Liquid Metal Coating to just start Liquid Metal Coating our opponent's lands. We can even get Cityscape Leveler to destroy things, Portal to Phyrexia to deal with some single large creature decks, and we can even just set up a God Pharaoh statue and tax our opponent until we can drain them out. So there's a lot of like prison elements that we can do here. If the game goes long enough, we can even find Virtue of Pestilence, which is basically Shieldred's effect for 7 mana. But this is a really cool card from Eldraine because it also has an adventure that just goes for 2 mana. And this gains us life and kills a creature potentially in the early game. So this is a pretty sweet card, and I'm happy to have it here. And other than this, we have Kaya Intangible Slayer as a top end. She's just a very good card. Love Kaya. In terms of other new cards, we are pretty much just playing the end as a searchable through Beseech the Mirror. This is a way to take out our opponent's like combo piece if they happen to be playing a combo piece that is a creature or planeswalker, generally just creature. But, searchable off of Beseech the Mirror, it is pretty sweet. Other than this, we have Expel the Interlopers, the other new card. This is just a board wipe where we get to choose the toughness of creatures that survive. So if we're playing our Orcish Bowmasters, we can often play Expel for, we can choose 1, and then we can make it a one-sided board wipe. It's pretty sweet. Also, we have Divine Purge here, which is a pretty good card. This is just generally good in control. We have Path of Peril, another board wipe, and Anguish Unbaking as targeted removal. And then topping it off with one more kind of control and prison piece, we have Thoughtseize and Archon of Emeria. Archon of Emeria, a 3/3/2/3 that makes it so that no player can cast more than one spell each turn. Once we set up our lock, it's going to be on our opponent to kind of figure their way out of it. And if we can get an Archon on the battlefield, that makes it a whole lot harder for them. And for us, as long as we can make sure that we're alive at the time that we cast this thing, we don't really care too much. We'll often just play things on our opponent's turn, or we'll go ahead and just cast one spell a turn and be happy with it. Also, I didn't talk about it, but we have Go for the Throat as well. So a lot of cool things happening in this deck. I'm really excited to see what Orzhov Prison can do. I played a variant of Green-White Enchantress that was running Phyrexian Unlife, and I was really surprised at how just those 2 cards really pushed us into a prison archetype. So I thought, why not just go ahead and really go all out when it comes to prison? Especially with Beseech the Mirror, I think this card is really, really cool, and it is the glue that holds together a lot of really interesting decks in this format right now. Beseech, going to be a really interesting card. People are already saying that it is very, very overpoweredly strong in other Eternal formats, and I'm starting to see why. I don't know if Historic will get to a point where we need to ban it, but Beseech the Mirror is definitely going to be a strong meta card, probably occupying the Shieldred spot in a lot of decks while not really removing our ability to cast Shieldred. So, powerful things happening. The power creep is moving right along, and I hope that we can show how powerful these decks are getting here today. Before we hop into the games, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by dropping a like on the video or by commenting anything that you're feeling. Do you like the deck? Do you like the channel? What am I doing well? What could I improve? Let me know. And also, if you're new here, you can additionally show your support by subscribing to the channel. I'm posting videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we have bonus content on Tuesdays and Thursdays when applicable. Right now, I'm going through my queue of the No Ban List event, and stay tuned for a lot of cool decks that come out in the next few days. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the content, and I will see you in round one. All right, round one. Let's see what we can do. Well, we find a Path of Peril, which is not a bad card. If we find one more land, it is a decent draw. And if we just get 2 lands, we'll get a 1 ring out. And from there, I think we'll be pretty solid. I think Orcish Bowmasters can kind of just sit in the way until then, so I'll keep this hand. Let's see what our opponent's got for us. That's 2 mulligans if I've been keeping an eye on this correctly. Alright, so they finally keep 5. Must have been a tough one for them. Oh, it's fairies maybe. Okay. Well, Orcish Bowmasters does line up pretty well here, although it won't be able to block. Turn 1 Thoughtseize feels good. Oh, ninjutsu stuff. Okay. Moon Circuit Hacker gets cast next turn. I like that I can kill that thing. Okay. We'll leave all the things that have 1 toughness. Considers fine. Thopter comes down, sure. So we're definitely going to be in on this draw discard thing. I'll just have to hit their hand with a Thoughtseize. And we've got them Hellbent, that feels good. Only take a damage a turn now from here on out. And we can deal with what's existing on the battlefield currently with our Bowmasters. Wow, we got another Bowmasters. This is really strong. Not necessarily really strong, but here's Bowmasters. We'll go ahead and kill that thing. And now we can start attacking in. We'll get a damage in a turn. It feels pretty solid. Move to our turn. We will go ahead and kill the Ornithopter if possible here. They should not block here. Should have played it around the second Bowmasters. We'll bonk it for 1, and we still get in for 2 to the face, which is great. Opponents in top deck mode, we'll hope that they don't find anything good. We'll scry 2 and set up something. Let's see if they scry anything to the top. That will probably affect if I want to keep Path of Peril around or not. So they keep 1. Well, it's not going to matter really what I do because I only have 2 lands to work with here. We'll see if we can get a sneaky trade for the Fairy Seer. I'm fine to trade for a Bowmasters. They're not showing me that they draw that many cards. Even if they do, I just have backup Bowmasters in my pocket. Retrofitter Foundry, sure. Will they make a blocker? They should pass and do it on my turn. That means I'll have to hold up my Bowmasters. Alright. Anguish Unmaking does take out Retrofitter Foundry if I draw a land. Alright, so they'll make their servo. I will... Okay, well, I'll attack, and then after attacks... Oh my god, I did not mean to do it that way. Whatever. We'll take that trade, it's fine. Maybe, just maybe, we can surprise them with a block or something, or with a ping. That's unfortunate. I really wish it didn't have to happen that way, but we do find this regardless. Maybe this Path of Peril can actually come down before an Orcish Bowmasters. I actually wouldn't feel too bad if that were the case. Alright, we'll attack in. They might block. It is what it is. We'll want to keep this token around if possible for our Beseech the Mirror. We'll take our damage. Alright, so we'll Anguish in making the Retrofitter Foundry now. They will maybe make a flyer out of this 1/1. Or maybe make another creature, who knows. Oh, it's actually Spell Pierce. Okay. Interesting. Well, for 4 mana, we could just play Beseech the Mirror. Depends on if their last card is a problematic card or not. I say we live dangerously. Let's cast with Bargain, sacking his creature. Does it resolve? Do they have second Spell Pierce? They didn't have it. Cool. So we will get a Shieldred to match our 2/1 rings in hand. And now things look pretty good. Opponent might make a flyer here. It is just another servo. Okay, so they want to go wide. That's good to know. And now they gotta deal with 5 turns of Shieldred before death. We haven't seen anything that will kill Shieldred yet. They will definitely be playing Fatal Push, though. If they have their own Shieldred, I'll take it out with the end. Otherwise, I don't really need to do anything about it. Opponent's low on resources. And by resources, I mean cards. Bowmasters can start taxing their little 1/1s if they start to make Thopters. I would like to hold up a Bowmasters kind of if possible. If they are able to get a construct onto the battlefield, it's kind of annoying, though I do have Path of Peril, which is a one-sided board wipe right now. Right. Well, we'll start with the 1 ring. Solemnity can lock in my 1 ring at a certain counter. Alright, we'll wait until they try to do anything to Shieldred to activate the 1 ring. They're not activating the Retrofitter Foundry. What's going on? Must just be a misplay. Opponent goes to 7, and we are closing out here. We don't need to bother blocking. We can life gain through any of this attack. Alright, draw card. Alright, move to our turn. Get a black Manosaurus. Draw. Alright, Archon of Emeria is great here, except for the fact that they have Retrofitter Foundry, so I want to deal with that first. We'll attempt to kill Retrofitter Foundry. See, we are playing around Spell Pierce here. There are counterspells that would make this a problem, but it is in fact not the case. And now we can just go in holding up Bowmasters. It's a Fatal Push, sure. Well, we'll lose that regardless. It's fine. Shieldred has done her job, and we still have backup Shieldred in the deck. Changeling Outcast, okay. They swing in. We'll Bowmasters kill the Changeling Outcast. Block here, we'll leave one of those alive. Alright, go to my turn, and it's potentially just an Archon of Emeria play coming up. I can lock in my 1 ring at 2, I suppose, with Solemnity. That feels kind of like a good thing to do. And maybe I'm being greedy for this Archon of Emeria play, because it looks like they're holding a counterspell. Okay, they just Spell Pierce this. Do they really care? I'm down to just decline to pay this. We'll play Archon of Emeria and make it hard for them to dig out. I'm still going to activate the One Ring. We have the next one sitting here. We'll block this. When it has one spell to cast this turn. What will it be? Sure. Go ahead and just do our draw now. And this Moon Circuit Hacker is going to immediately die. Oh, it's when it deals combat damage to a player. So if it ever hits me, I just kill it with Bowmasters. Well, we just find another Beseech here. I think the move is clear. We go Beseech the Mirror, find Shieldred. You know what? I could activate Ring, Beseech using Ring, find Shieldred, next turn play One Ring. Alright. Use Beseech. Beseech with Bargain, sack the One Ring. Let's find a Shieldred. I could even just find Virtue of Pestilence, actually. That's just, like, better. I kind of want to play this card. I cannot play it because I went with Bargain, but it's okay. Go back in, and next turn we get to do our thing. I have to discard 4. I'll get rid of a Fabled Passage and just a few more lands. Just let's keep all gas in hand. Opponent would have to draw Spell Piece here and then just hold it up till my turn. Otherwise, I just do get a Virtue of Pestilence in hand. Okay, it's a Bowmasters, sure. I can just kill their Bowmasters, I suppose. Well, actually, I don't really care that much about a Bowmasters, really. And I can just Path of Peril. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, and I guess we'll just move to our turn. Oh, well now Moon Circuit Hacker's kind of annoying. Okay, we'll kill it now. I don't want to give them another card. Opponent's at 4. We basically can hit them to 1 next turn, but we'll just cast Virtue of Pestilence now. Get to go in here. And here's a tapped land, or an untapped land. Alright, next turn we get a Shieldred, and it is GG for our opponent, no matter what they do. They can kill Archon. That's not going to do much for them. I think we are looking good. We'll go to our graveyard, and we want to find a Shieldred. There's a Shieldred. Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and One Ring. Doesn't really matter, and we'll just swing in for the win here. Spell Pierce, we will auto pay for that. So I actually did find the Spell Pierce. Looks like it was a turn too late. Okay, really solid round 1 here. We did exactly what we needed to do. Archon of Emeria was a bump for our opponent to deal with, and it did look annoying. We got the Shieldred One Ring combo out, and that helped our life total high. We had the end if it came down to it, but our opponent wasn't playing a single important creature. Divine Purge and Path of Peril. We're just sitting in the wings if we needed it. I felt extremely in control that game, and that's really what you want to see from a prison or control deck, so awesome. Good round 1, let's hop into round 2. Okay, round 2. Let's try to have another strong one. Divine Purge is good. It would require Brightcon Pathway on white, though, and that hurts my double Beseech the Mirror hand. I'm going to mulligan this one since my opponent did. Bowmasters go for the throat. Eventually, Archon of Emeria and our One Ring. I like it. We'll get rid of 1 Archon. And then we will fetch white to begin with our Fabled Passage. Alright, so we have Shieldred One Ring, just naturally. Okay, so this is the ramp deck. Well, I hate Pelucanus because, well, actually he's not the worst. It does make a 3/3, or a, yeah. Oh, actually no, that's only once you transform him. This is fine. They have 1, 2, not enough mana. I'll go ahead and kill it though now. This is not the old growth troll that comes back as a 3 devotion creature. We'll hold up Bowmasters here if we don't draw land. Here comes Karn, fine. What does Karn get? Liquid metal coating? That actually hurts us a lot. Okay, just a 1 ring, that's fine. Alright, we get to go in with Bowmasters. Nice, okay. Take out their ramp a little bit. We'll hold up just another Bowmasters. Karn minus will kill himself. They do get to go in with the 1 ring if they want to, but that means they'll probably be able to just kill Karn. Sounds good. They gain pro everything. Let's see if they activate ring. They should minus Karn here. It's not going to stay alive. With the exception of that exact move happening. Sure. Well, we'll go ahead and flash into Bowmasters, though. And the activation of the ring will now kill Karn. Alright, nice. We get a land here. We'll shock this one in, say that we can only cast 1 spell a turn. Not bothering attacking here. And this 1 ring just kind of sits idle here. I have the end. Whenever I get the mana for it, I'm going to just kill Karn and take all Karns out of their deck. Karn is too big of a payoff for big mana. Make their ring animated again. For some reason they want to keep Karn alive. Here's 5 mana, what gets cast? Oh, never mind. Looks like they're trying to cast something large. Must be a 6-drop. Okay. Well, maybe I'll need to hold on to this at the end regardless. Well, let's move in and swing in at Karn. Put him to 1. Karn will eventually die. Archon of Vermeer is extremely strong in this matchup because if they make enough mana, they're going to be wanting to cast a bunch of crap every turn. They do have Lair of the Hydra to activate, though, once Nykthos gets big. Okay, they're trying to Legend Rule their Nykthos, but it comes in tapped because of Archon, so I think that just messed them up. Okay, so this is just Old Growth Troll. They are getting close to having mana.
There is great power in the things we make.
If I draw a land here, oh crap. Okay, so we can completely turn off their 1 ring with Solemnity. I think that's probably good. The only thing is my Bowmaster token will not get bigger, but that's fine. We get to kill Karn here, and now our opponent just has to make some big play here. My Beseeches do go find some interesting stuff. They can find just a land if I need to. Gruff Triplets is really annoying. We'll take our damage here. Actually, yeah, if we get 1 black mana source, we Beseech for a combo piece, and then we're just fine. Divine Purge. Divine Purge is 3 or less? I mean, that's great for us. Except for the Archon play. 3, 6. Why do they have 13? Do these count for 3? Oh, they do. I see. So we definitely want this Divine Purge. I could have attacked in for 2. It is what it is. Now our opponent's 1 ring is active, though. This is potentially a dangerous play. And actually, wait, Gruff Triplets. Oh, they have 6 CMC because they're copies. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm mistaken. I might have just thrown here. We need... What do we need here? We need a lot to happen. We need to hit 1 ring. Okay, we were able to hit 1 ring here. What do I find? Our board wipe is 5 mana, unfortunately. Get our black mana source here. Yeah, so we play One Ring, then we use Beseech next turn. Oh, and just Beseech finds us Phyrexian on life now. Okay, we're fine. Okay, so the other thing that they can have is they can get Karn finding Cityscape Leveler. Alright, so we don't want to take a damage here. We will go ahead and activate the One Ring, looking for a land. Alright, Solemnity. So then we'll go ahead and Beseech the Mirror, cast with Bargain, stacking our One Ring. And actually, I think the safe play here, because they can have targeted removal, is to get a 9 lives instead. Okay, cool. So we have a Pillow Fort to hide behind as we rebuild here. We can start getting Bowmasters in and using Beseech the Mirror to go for a Shieldred play. Or and we could just even cast a Shieldred, I guess. When my opponent gets their Karn, things become a problem. Okay. We get a Bowmasters from hand, so this is even better. That means we get the end plus Bowmasters plus go for the throat. I say that's fine. We'll pass. Even if they kill Solemnity, they hit me for 6 of the 9 lives counters. I can still Beseech for another one. Choose one. Okay, sure. We'll make something big happen. What does Tooth and Nail get? I wonder how much of a toolbox they have here. It's just Primeval Titans. And what do the Primeval Titans find? That is just nuts, by the way. They get 4 lands here. Well, luckily they don't have a way to kill me yet. They play red. They play a red splash for some reason. What is that for? I don't care about Primeval Titan or Gruff Triplets. Them attacking with Primeval Titan is just fine. We'll play the Bowmasters from exile. Might as well just deal the damage to them. The elves don't really matter. That dies immediately because of Solemnity, but it's okay. That's not what it's here for. Here's Karn. What does Karn find for us? Well, Karn just immediately dies, so maybe we don't care about playing him right now. I think having a Shieldred on the battlefield is maybe the strongest thing we can do. I mean, I'm like a little worried about Solemnity dying. I think I'll just hold up mana again. Once we get a few creatures on board, then we'll get a Shieldred. Then, once we can, effectively keep a Karn alive, we'll use our Karn to go find something nasty. Okay, it's just Xenagos, that's fine. Xenagos is most certainly a creature. Sure. 12/12 is a thing that could happen. They're going to continue to go look for lands. Valakut, maybe? I don't really know. What are they doing with these mountains? Garen Brigand Forest. So it looks like they don't have any techie lands that can kill me. Lair the Hydra, not a problem here. No blocks. Alright, here's another Bowmasters. We're just playing it slow. Getting ready to win with a Karn. We'll deal damage to the face. We'll do our turn. Here's a land finally. This means that, well, we can play that Archon that we were hoping for. Do I care about an Archon from my opponent? They are already casting like pretty much anything and everything. And then their effects are like put creatures onto the battlefield, so it's okay. I want to still hold up for if they draw a Karn. That's really the only thing that I'm worried about. Once we get our next mana, then we slam Shieldred, holding up the end. Opponent has 31 cards, we have 38, so we are ahead in terms of survival, if it really comes down to that. Alright, we don't block any of these, it doesn't matter. All we need is one more land, and then we can present the win here. Okay, cool. So I think this is our final land, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, we have one more. Here's a Shieldred, and we're holding up the end in Bowmasters. All right, now we pass, and it's on our opponent to not die. Let's see, we have another Emeria. We'll just start deploying creatures, getting ready for that eventual Karn play. No need to attack, we just pass. Xenagos has 20 devotion. I don't think I've ever seen devotion that high. Amazing. Gruff triplets? Well, they're gonna have 26 devotion here. Alright, Shattered Sanctum, cool. That means that I can afford Emeria plus the end. Or, sorry, Emeria plus go for the throat now. Do things have a reach? No, they do not. We get to go in with Archons. And this is what Prison is all about. It's about stopping your opponent from winning and then pinging them down slowly. Alright, so they go down to 10. They're halfway dead. Kiora is just ramp. Okay. And now that we're out of the range of just holding up the end, I think I'll just assume that they're not going to have a Karn and then go for my own Karn play. Here's a land. We'll go ahead and grab a Karn. Take something from outside the game. And I guess Portal to Phyrexia is decent. We don't have the mana for it yet. I'll just take the God Pharaoh statue. It eventually represents a kill. Swing in twice. Opponent goes 2-6, then 2-4. We'll have one draw here. Oh my god, their Xenagos has 30 devotion now. What a wild run that was. Okay, so I think I probably could have just made my run a little bit earlier, but I wanted to wait until I felt comfortable with a board of creatures. The whole idea here being that if my opponent was able to go for a secondary Karn, go find their copy of Cityscape Leveler, it enters, they kill Solemnity, and then they go in with enough creatures to give me 9 counters on 9 lives. In this situation, what I could have also done was Beseech the Mirror, sacking, oh geez, I don't know, like just one of these things. I would have to probably Karn for an Ornithopter or something like that. But I'd be able to Beseech the Mirror, finding a Phyrexian Unlife, and then I'm completely safe. The only other thing is if that Cityscape Leveler does come and kill like multiple Solemnities, I'd have to keep going and finding them so that 9 lives stays alive. 9 lives having hexproof is, you know, actually a pretty relevant thing here if they were going for that cityscape leveler endgame. But, you know, we did what we're supposed to do with this deck. We locked them down, made their win con not possible, and then slowly won ourselves. Good game. Round 3 coming up. Stay tuned. Okay, here we go. This is our round 3. And a turn 1 Thoughtseize into potential turn 1 or turn 3 Archon is pretty decent, but I think that I'd like to have a turn 2 play or another land. This does satisfy all of that stuff, so I will just probably play a Thoughtseize and then just go slowly into a Divine Purge. Okay, so we get Thoughtseize off the rip. Let's see if they have Spell Pierce here. We get it immediately, and this is indeed Mill, so Brewvac is probably what we want to take, except for the fact that we could Divine Purge. Orcish Bowmasters will be pretty much not useful at all with the exception of Jace. Seeing as they have Maddening Cacophony in hand already, Brewvac is probably the take. So we know that Divine Purge is not going to be super good anymore. I am probably just going to use Bowmasters to pressure Jace as soon as possible, and now they're deciding if they play Maddening Cacophony or not. Okay. So, doesn't matter what we do here, but we do have to fetch white for our double white. Here comes Jace, presumably to mill us a little bit.
Phyrexia showed me the truth. Flesh will always lose.
Alright, so Jace goes for the +1. Well, I think we'll probably just want to send out a Shattered Sanctum. Or, sorry, that's not at all what I mean. We want to send out an Orcish Bowmasters. We might as well play Shattered Sanctum. We'll play Bowmasters into a Shieldred. I don't think this Divine Purge is going to be particularly good. They might have the 2-mana artifact for mill, in which case Divine Purge will be good, but we'll see.
Organic minds are easy.
See what they play here. Could be... Eventually Into the Story will be good for them. See what happens. Here comes Maddening Cacophony, sure. Even if they decide to Fading Hope, we still get what we want to out of our Bowmasters, which is good. Let's go ahead and play that. We get to ping Jace for 1 here, and then get in for, at most, another 2. Fading Hope comes right back in, and that's honestly even better, because we'll be able to Bowmasters in our main phase, potentially. And be able to deal with Jace right away. We could also be even more greedy and then do a Shieldred play, which is tempting, but I think I'd like to get Jace down pretty low as soon as possible. So play a Black Mana Source here, go ahead and Bowmasters again. Send this one to Jace, and because if they have another Fading Hope, then we just get to play our our Bowmasters a second time, which is ideal. Jace is gonna probably... Oh, here's a Brewvac, sure. They plus on my Bowmaster token, I suppose. My Divine Purge now hits me, which is kind of annoying. We lose a mirror here. Jace will go away. I can decide... Well, unfortunately, Brewvac is kind of going to be annoying here. I think I just need to kill him regardless. If I just exile everything, it'll probably be good. I'll swing in with the token, see if they want to let me have my 2 damage or not. Okay, cool. We get free 2 damage out of this, and then we just go Divine Purge. It's mana value 3 or less, which does hit Brewvac. Great. And then we get a Fabled Passage, which we can crack for our Bowmasters next turn. Cool. That all feels pretty good. Their Into the Story can go out here. We'll let this happen first. We'll see what they decide to do.
Phyrexian's plans are already
Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and activate for Bowmasters here. We should be able to kill this Jace. That was our last basic, which is notable. Alright, move to our turn and hit Jace down to 1. Phyrexian Unlife is completely not useful in this game. We'll just Bowmasters right here, do 1 to the face, and Jace will die. And now we have a board and our opponent doesn't have anything on board. Feels pretty good for us. It's another Brewvac, which is annoying, but we actually draw exactly what we need, which is Go for the Throat. So we'll kill that thing and move in, and I think we've cleared up the board a significant amount, and our opponent agrees here as they go ahead and concede. Alright, sweet. Well, that was a pretty standard game right there. What did we do other than play Bowmasters? It wasn't really much. I guess our Thoughtseize Keep was good, and then Divine Purge came in when it needed to. Yeah, so I mean, normally you would consider the non-bow of Divine Purge plus Bowmasters to be kind of a detriment, but in this case it was kind of okay. We want to get those triggers out to deal with Planeswalkers and to get our token, or to make our tokens big enough to kind of be like a combat trick. Cool, so, you know, just a standard game against Mill, took that win. Let's go. So that was our round 3. Let's hop into round 4. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is our round 4. I like the turn 1 Thoughtseize. It's kind of not great that we have to utilize the Bright Clam pathway so early, but it's fine. I think we'll keep this one, and it'll be a slow Bowmasters play, and we also have the adventure side of Virtue of Pestilence to make use of. Eventually, there will be the possibility of a 1 ring, which is pretty good. So let's see what they've got here. This is just, okay, kind of interesting. I like the Fatal Push variant here. That's pretty cool. What do we want to take here? So this is just basically like a control deck. I can deal with a 2-1 no problem, and I just need to play around Drown in the Lock, basically. I think... I don't know if I care about Fatal Push more than Drown in the Lock. I'm going to definitely take Drown in the Lock, though. They get to trade efficiently for our Bowmasters, which is annoying, but maybe we can waste their Fatal Pushes. That would be ideal. I am thinking that I probably need a white mana source here, in case I found something for Anguished Unmaking. Yep, white source, there we go. Okay, we find another source here. I'll play black so we can play towards Beseech, and we'll pass here. Wait for our opponent to play anything. We don't particularly care. Don't need to play this into a Hypnotic Sprite or anything. We are fine to just take this stuff, and I could potentially just try to go in for a 1 ring real quick. They have 2 draws to find another counterspell. It's pretty likely they have one, but I think that I might as well just try my luck now. Looks like they found it. It is what it is. I just wanted to get that off, you know, before the Archmage's Charm turns on and the Hypnotic Sprite turns on. Okay, so it is what it is. We are fine to just play on our opponent's turn here, then. We want to make it so that they cannot use their Castle Locthwain super easily. And, I mean, Archmage's Charm specifically says CMC 1 or less, so they can take my Bowmaster's token. I think we just sit here. We don't want to use Beseech the Mirror, but we would like to get a Bowmaster token out at some point to prep for a turn where that's going to happen. See if they decide to flash anything in here. They do not. I'm not really sure I want to make the first turn here, or the first move. So we will wait until our opponent starts to go to discard. I mean, we're at 7 cards. We are fine. We'll see what they choose to do here. Resolving an Archon of Emeria is not particularly good here, so I'm not really trying to do that. Sleep Cursed Fairy is kind of annoying. They're still holding up Hypnotic Sprite and all that kind of stuff. So I will go ahead and try to Anguish Unmaking. This is Ward 2, which means I cannot pay for it effectively. Unfortunate. But we've got some time until it comes down to it. I might just Virtual Pestilence on my next turn. This will be a total of 4 mana. So I will be able to play Jawari Disruption. Alright, now that it's their turn. I'm going to hold up this Virtual Pestilence. Well, I guess I'll just try it with Anguish Unmaking instead then. This will cost all of my mana. Yep. Got Ward 2, we will resolve and pay for it. Unless they flash a spell out. Auto pay, and now let's see if they have that Spell Pierce. Okay, so it's Snapcaster Mage on Jawari Disruption, sure. And if they're going to be tapping out for this, then my Expel the Interlopers is pretty good next turn. Okay, so we take that out, but we have a better follow-up now. We'll go ahead and just Interlopers for 0. There goes the board. Alright, we are back to square one here, and things are looking good. Opponent's winning on that life race just ever so slightly, and we're just kind of going to sit here and pick up the lands. Eventually we'll have enough that we can get around a lot of the removal and counter magic, and we'll just have to play to a point where we can run them out of what they want to do. We will drop out of Bowmasters in this case. Potentially a second if they have a counter spell. This just resolves. They're going to Fatal Push. Okay, we'll get a second Fatal Push here at the very least, and we'll have a 2-turn. So I think that that's probably solid. Next turn I thought to as well. We got 2 cards out of their hand there for not a crazy amount of mana investment. So I'm pretty happy about the way that that went. Let's see what they do next. Looks like they're going to kill this. Fairy Fencing, sure. So this is kind of like Fairy Control, I guess. They still have Hypnotic Sprite. This is just counter with CMC 3 or less. I mean, we could just play the Ring and test their hand. I also just have Virtue of Pestilence here. I'll probably just go Thoughtseize into something. Then we have 1 Ring that can start to draw for us. They gotta counter this. That makes sense. And unfortunately, I don't have enough for Virtue of Pestilence. I will just get a 1 Ring, but that's good enough too. Alright, so we start drawing here. Trying to go for the Throat, that feels pretty solid. If they cast any creature, then we are good. I'll kill that thing. We want to keep our life total high. I want to make sure that the 1 Ring is the only thing doing any damage to us. Especially if they counter this, then I also have Virtue of Pestilence hard cast. Snapcaster Mage, yeah, this is perfect. They're playing, I would say, kind of right into it. We have Bowmasters that can come back. We have a lot of different crap that is good for us. So here's Drowning the Lock on our thing, and next turn it's Pestilence right away. Alright, so that Shield Grid effect is going to be great. Here's Virtue of Pestilence. We will also draw. Archon of Emeria has now become really good. Solemnity is also kind of decent. That'll lock in our 1 Ring, however. Alright, they go in looking for something to deal with Virtue of Pestilence. I believe Drowning the Lock, does that kill anything that is not a... oh, it's just a creature. Okay, so Virtue of Pestilence is pretty solid. Snapcaster's Deece. Can I kill anything with Bowmasters? Yes, I can. I'll kill their Flyer. See if they have a response to this. They do not. Good. And now what happens? I think Phyrexian Unlife is a great play. I will run Phyrexian Unlife into an Archon. And we'll see what this does for us. I could attempt to Beseech as well. But I think what is a good idea is to play Archon of Emeria and then start to use Virtue of Pestilence in order to do stuff. If they want to deal with Virtue of Pestilence, that'll take them an entire turn, and then I can just kind of play something useful later. Archon really helps them, though, because they then just have counter magic, and I can't really do much about it. Let's draw out the One Ring first. I might just go ahead and try to Beseech. Yeah, I'll Beseech sacking my One Ring. That allows me to get rid of it, and I don't think we really need that many more cards. If they counter this, I'm okay. And I would expect them to do it. They give it to us, and we will find Shieldred. That just seems like the best one. They still can counter this, though, the way that the card is worded. Looks like they are doing so because they didn't have a counter spell. So I wonder what their hand is like. We're sitting now behind a Phyrexian Unlife, so I mean, you know, a One Ring could actually be happy. Okay, Fairy Fencing makes sense. We have another Shieldred as well, plus Virtue of Pestilence will give us back our Shieldred. We have to pick off the Snapcaster Mage, which is good. And we almost have a creature that can tangle with a Sleep Cursed Fairy. There goes our Bowmasters, but it has done what it needed to do. We're going to take our Shieldred back, as that is just going to be strong. And now we can just do whatever. We have Kaya Intangible Slayer here. We need to have exactly Spell Curse, and they do not. Let's just start draining them here. We have the ability to make their life tough for them. They have a lot of things to deal with. The Virtue of Pestilence, I get any creature that I want back. We are going to pressure their hand, pressure their draw, and then they cannot immediately deal with Kaya. So it is going to be difficult for them to find something. Alright, there's a 5/5 Sleep Cursed Fairy. That is worrying to some degree, but what's it really going to do? They go in for 5, it is what it is. The sword will trigger. They get to deal some damage to my little guy, and they go down to 2. They will be dead in their upkeep unless they have removal for Shieldred. And they decide to go out on their own terms with a Watery Grave Shock. And just like that, we have completed run 4. Pretty great game here. I think that, you know, when you're playing these sort of permission style decks, you have to really play a game of show them some things that are annoying but really hold back the good stuff. And getting Virtue of Pestilence out and not using it for the adventure side ended up being pretty much what won us the game here. They clearly didn't have a way to deal with an enchantment, and that was pretty apparent. And then when they tap out and I get to slam something like Kaya Intangible Slayer, well, you know, that's just a game-ending piece right there. So a pretty strong round here. Let's hop into the final round here and get one more game in with Orzhov Prison. Okay, here we go. This is our final round. We have a good start with Thoughtseize into Orcish Bowmasters, and eventually a Divine Purge can be cast. I'm happy to keep this one. Being on the play is great with a Thoughtseize, so we will see what our opponent's up to, and it is... Is it Control? Okay, so Virtue of Courage, interesting. That will be bad if cast on the enchantment side. Lightning Strike, kind of annoying against my Bowmasters, though, and then Cyclonic Rift, obviously, the bounce is going to be pretty annoying. I think I am more scared about the Ionize. Solemnity and, in general, my ability to get a Phyrexian Unlife onto the battlefield is going to be the most important part of this game. So both Cyclonic Rift and Ionize are the things that I care about the most. I will take Ionize since it's a hard counter, and Cyclonic Rift just bounces to hand. We have to be respectful of the fact that they have that, because they can basically just get it to 0 life and then kill us. Let's play this on white, just in case they decide to do anything weird. Do I want to play Bowmasters now? I think I want to slow roll this because they're not committing to the board, so I can just, you know, amass land, and then I might need to use Bowmasters as a decoy for something. So the question is, do we get double black or double white? I really don't think they're going to be doing anything other than casting spells, so I will get a black mana source here. If they tap out for anything, we'll just go in with 8 Orcish Bowmasters, especially if they try to draw. And I think, yeah, the correct move is to really just not play anything here. We'll go ahead and pass. Don't draw land. It is fine. Seems like we might have time for this. Move to our turn. Lovely seeing a Fabled Passage. I think we'll finally get that second white, just in case Divine Purge ends up being something we want to do. But at the same time, we have Beseech the Mirror. Now, here's what might happen. My opponent's on 4 lands. Assuming they don't get a 5th land, they can only have the ability to kill one of my creatures, and then they won't be able to cast an Ionize. So what I could do here is I could get a 3rd black, get ready for a Beseech the Mirror. On my opponent's end step, play Orcish Bowmasters. They probably deal with the Bowmasters first. Then I get Beseech the Mirror, find Shieldred. And I feel pretty good at that point. I like that idea. Let's get black. We will say go from this position. Okay, opponent goes for the Virtue of Courage. That's fine. They're finally starting to use some of these cards. Would rather have it be used there than on my Bowmasters. We'll probably get the Lightning Strike out of them now, and they could just have another Ionize. We get to move to our turn. I guess I'll just go ahead and Beseech the Mirror now. Bargain is a part of the casting cost, so they cannot respond to me attempting to sack my token. And I take it this probably gets Ionized. There's also the problem of Cyclonic Rift that can just bounce my Shieldred. I could even just get a land, really. That might even be kind of a fun thing to do. The One Ring is good. Phyrexian Unlife is decent. That would be a problem for them. I'll try to put a Phyrexian Unlife onto the battlefield. I don't think that we can truly hide behind that. Oh, you know what? Actually, maybe a Thoughtseize is even better. I don't really know. I think... Man, that Cyclonic Rift is kind of annoying. Cyclonic Rift is permanent, right? Yeah. The end doesn't hit anything good. Can't cast any of my large stuff, sadly. Maybe. Is Archon of Emeria a good call? Let's try to cast a One Ring. This one goes well against Cyclonic Rift, but obviously, yeah, it'll bait out a counterspell, so that's fine. We get a damage here. Well, we would get a damage here if they didn't have another card. We're holding on kind of well. This is not terrible. We get to just slam a One Ring here. Seems good. There's Snapcaster for Archmage's Charm. At least it's not being used to... Well, okay, it's Ionized, sure. Well, we have the End here, which we can cast on our opponent's turn to take out all Snapcaster Mages. Not... Ooh, okay, Virtue of Courage comes down. That is a issue. Exile that many cards from the top of your library. You may play those this turn. If their last card's a counterspell, we don't get the End. I'll do it in their upkeep. And sure. I think I'm happy to just go like this. Do they play anything other than Snapcaster Mage? I am not sure, honestly. So we'll attempt to exile Snapcaster Mage here. Does it respond? It or does it resolve? It does. Opponent plays just a second copy. There's Bone Crusher Giants as the only other creature. Notable that there are Izzet Charms in this deck. And otherwise, it's just a lot and lot of burn. So they're really going off of this Virtue of Courage kind of deal. Graveyard has none. Okay, so was not that big of a thing, as it turns out. We know that our Paths of Peril will be kind of good. We know that... Oh, shit. Well, yeah, this Anguished Unmaking is good for us as well. How about we go ahead and kill that thing on my opponent's upkeep? And it's whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to opponents, so I will wait until they attempt to cast one of these things. Target player draws 2 cards, sure. I guess I did let them draw here, which is kind of annoying. It's I think Cyclonic Rift text says that you don't control. Yep. Alright, so we'll attempt to Virtue of Courage, remove that thing. See if they drew the counterspell for that. Looks like I will be punished for the order that I cast these in. Cannot pay for the Izzet Charm, that sucks. We are a little bit tough on lands at this time. Well, we do draw one here. Luckily, we are not otherwise terrible. Let's get rid of this thing. Does a Solemnity help me at all? I think based on what I saw from my opponent, it doesn't at all. Path of Peril doesn't really do much right now. Beseech the Mirror. I mean, it's a tutor for something. I could go get Karn, potentially. Karn eats up a little bit of damage. Karn can get a Godfarer statue into the battlefield in 2 turns, potentially. I gotta imagine that they have answers for that, though. Cyclonic Rift, they can just kill the Karn. There might be a counterspell in the hand. I don't think I'm going to... Oh, you know what I can do? I'll play Solemnity now. See if I can bait out a counterspell, then use it with Beseech the Mirror. That will be my bargain cost. Much better if I play it like that. They didn't really stick priority at all, so I'll go ahead and Beseech. We'll sacrifice this. And let's see if we're allowed to get anything. They give it to us now, which is, typically going to be the case. I think that Shieldred now would be pretty solid. Archon... Does Archon negate Virtue of Courage? It's you may play those cards this turn. Yes, so I will... If I play Archon, though, it's just killed by Jaya's Greeting. So that doesn't feel like a very good play. Then I'll just play a Shieldred, make them deal with it twice. And this will also bait out an Ionize now. That's okay. They get to exile 2 here. Rewind is fine. So they whiff there, which is good. They're getting close to Cyclonic Rift, so we really cannot go wide, which is unfortunate. I like Bowmasters. I like playing Bowmasters first, I guess. Bowmasters into Solemnity, and then... Well, no, I want to keep Bowmasters up. Yeah, I guess I can't really be cute with the Beseech the Mirror Solemnity thing again, so I will just try to get a Bowmasters token onto the... Oh, well, crap. I would have liked to not have Virtue do what it's going to do. Well, they will get to exile the top 3, fine. We go to 10, or sorry, to 7. Here comes a Bone Crusher Giant, Slaying Fire, and Flame of Anor. Okay, we take some damage here. They get to exile more. This is pretty tough. We might just be dead here, I think, actually. They get to exile a bit more. Bowmasters won't do anything about that. And yeah, I think we might just be dead to any sort of damage here. Alright, opponent's got us. Looks like the Izzet control deck will come out on top here. To speak a little bit about this deck, I think that it's really cool that they are really making Flame of Anor, they're giving it a run for its money. That thing is a pretty powerful card, and we've really only seen it in the Wizards deck. And even though they're not really using it with the Wizard synergy, I think that being able to draw 2 for 3 mana is not terrible. Being able to do most of the things in their deck at instant speed is also a very good thing. And 5 damage to kill a Shieldred is strong. That definitely made it awkward here. Is It Charm? Another one that we don't really see too much. I forget what historic anthology this came out in, but you know, it's been out rather recently. Can kill a decent amount of creatures. You get to loot twice or counter a spell. I think that's all pretty solid. And then Lightning Strike, generally not a very strong card, but here I think they are happy to make that concession given that Virtue of Courage is a good card to be playing here. Definitely expect to see this one on my channel pretty soon here. I'll be playing a deck that is rather similar. So with that being said, that is game 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed playing it. If you want to see the deck list, remember that I always have tapped out deck lists in the description, so feel free to check that out. If you're new to the channel, you can support me by liking the video and subscribing. Also, if you want to support me on my quest against the YouTube algorithm, make a comment on the video because that actually helps a lot. That being said, that is all that I have. Stay tuned for more videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see ya.